Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Veterans Entertainment Talk Show. My name is Eric Martin Koppelman. I'm one of the co-hosts of the show, and I'm proud to say that because, well, I'm a veteran. And like you hear me say every week, some of the best times of my life were spent in the military, and some of the relationships that I made with other men and women in the military are still active today. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Twitter. But in any case, this show is all about you, the veteran. This show is about what can be done either while you're in active military service, how your family can be affected, or how we can help your family, and as a veteran. That's what it's all about. Of course, the organization Sell to a Veteran and Michael Aharoni and Brian Goldman with his law firm, we're here for you guys. And it's just a fabulous thing. It really is. And now, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Brian Goldman and Michael Aharoni.
You put your name first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do it? Michael Aharoni and Brian Goldman. I have it in the contract that he wrote.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. As you can see, we're on veteransentertainmenttalkshow.com as well as Facebook Live. So I'm actually going to be watching myself as we do the show today, which is
You might be the only one. Go ahead.
which is kind of nice. So, well, we're here again, 9th week, and we've had some great feedback for the past 8 weeks, and I am super excited to get this show going today. And
We have a wonderful guest today.
Yeah, and what our show entails for next week as well. So,
Let me just say this.
Please.
For all those listening out there and those who are watching us on Facebook Live and the other devices, we're here because we care about veterans. Right, Mike? Isn't that what we're here about?
Oh, of course.
And Sell to a Veteran is an organization that we formed last year specifically to help veterans. So while our show in many, many ways is entertaining,
Yep.
the guests we have on are interesting, sometimes fun.
Yep.
Sometimes Michael will do a little singing and dancing. We are serious about helping veterans utilize their veterans benefits,
Yes.
to educate them, and to take them from contact to contract to home ownership. And I couldn't be more proud of our guest today.
Oh yeah, our guest is
Why don't
huge.
you introduce him?
I've known him for quite a while, and he's helped me personally as well as business wise, and it is an honor to have the one and only Andrew Lerner. Welcome, Andrew.
Welcome. He's my insurance guy too, by the way. So it's like family.
I'm more special.
Always.
And I am glad to be here with you guys. I just want you to know that.
Thank you. Well, let me do a little introduction to Andrew. As we have in the past, we've brought on some great individuals that we've had on the show, from politicians to home inspectors to mortgage blenders to chefs to mediums. We wanted to give a huge variety of content in the beginning of our initial launch of
Right.
Veterans Entertainment Talk Show. Today's show is going to be about insurance and real estate, as I'll be a guest in the second half. But as I said, Andrew Lerner is here today. Andrew Lerner is, in fact, one of the top all-state agents in the country. And he also has his own agency as well. This is also known as the Lerner Agency, that he can write not only Allstate, but various other companies as well. So welcome again. I thank you for coming. I know that you are a huge supporter of veterans.
I am.
You're a huge supporter of our active military, and
I
you have donated to our cause, and I thank you so much. So why don't we dive in? I know Brian has a few questions to ask you first and foremost, and I'll chime in. And anyone that's listening out there, again, on veteransentertainmenttalkshow.com or on our Facebook Live, call in, type in, message us. I have my actually phone here because I forgot to put it away. Text me, and we'll be more than happy to ask as many questions as we can throughout the show regarding insurance.
Keep
or
them
real
simple,
estate.
though. You have to keep them simple.
Definitely. So,
Well, let me just say this. When we formed this Veterans Entertainment Talk Show, we reached out to some people and we asked them would they like to be a part of it. And you jumped at it.
I did.
And we're so happy that you are a part of our Vets USA family.
I appreciate it, and I thank you for having me.
There are a lot of people that just talk the talk, but you You can't. You stepped up and you said, "What can I do to help you?" And we appreciate that.
Very interested in the organization. I have friends. I have one friend now who's actually, their son is going to the military in a few weeks, graduating high school and going right in. So I support it 100%.
Great. So let's talk about insurance. Our people who have listened to our show know that I'm an attorney. Been an attorney for 31 years. What was that?
I said, uh-oh.
Yes. And one of the areas of law that I practice, besides real estate, is personal injury. And I come across insurance policies all the time. So let's just talk in a general sense. You write auto insurance, correct?
I do.
All right. And let's first talk about New York State. Why don't you tell our listeners out there what kind of coverage, as a general rule, an auto coverage should entail? What should they have?
Well, there is minimums in the state of New York, which is, in terms of the liability, it's $25,000, $50,000, which I never sell. I'm just not an advocate of selling minimum liability. It depends if you lease or buy a car. There'll be certain restrictions on you as well. I usually sell minimum of $100,000, $300,000 on the bodily injury side, and always match the uninsured motorist to the bodily injury, because I see a lot of claims where people have either no insurance or they're underinsured.
Okay, let's assume.
Personal injury attorney, I'm sure you see it every day.
Sure. Let's assume that someone out there is getting a car for the first time and has no idea about insurance. Why don't tell us what is liability coverage? What is it
Liability
for?
covers, God forbid, you are in a car accident, it's your fault, and you get sued.
Okay. And what is supplemental coverage?
If someone is underinsured or has no insurance, that part of your policy will pay for the difference of the damages.
Okay. Let me see if I can just expand on that just for a moment, if I may, Mike.
Right ahead. You got a squeaky chair, Andrew.
I know. No, it's not mine.
Some coverage that comes into play, ladies and gentlemen, in a scenario like this. You're in a car accident. The person that strikes you has the minimum coverage in New York.
Or no coverage.
Or no coverage. And you have catastrophic injuries. You contact that insurance company for the other vehicle, and they say to you, well, there's minimal coverage of $25,000. And based upon your injuries, we're going to offer you that policy. So you then turn to your coverage of your own insurance policy. And if you have the supplemental insurance, you can then make a claim against your coverage, correct?
If you have the minimum, it'll be $25.50. If not, you will have up to the limits of what you have in the policy.
Great. All right, now with veterans, one of the reasons why
Before you go there, I just want to give a shout out. Someone just texted in, wanted to say hello to you, Andrew. Angelo.
I have
Angelo
fans out there.
Is watching and says that is one good-looking Allstate agent.
Ooh.
Thank you so much, Angela. I appreciate it.
Oh, and there goes my mic again.
No, all right, let's. You got a shout out.
Ugh.
We are on the show for 9 weeks. Have we gotten any shout outs?
Nope.
None.
We got nothing.
You're
I'll
on
call
here-
in next week.
You're on here for 9 minutes and you got a shout out.
See that?
All right, let's talk about homeowners insurance. As our listeners know, one of the things that, the reason Sell to a Veteran was founded was to assist veterans in obtaining coverage, obtaining a loan to purchase a house. Whenever you go and get a house, whenever you go through the process of signing a contract and going to a lender, one of the things they always require is homeowners insurance.
Correct.
The veteran that is going to buy a house for the first time has no idea about homeowners insurance. In fact, I've owned a house for 21 years. I still don't understand all the intricacies of it. But tell me, what should a veteran or anyone there purchasing a home, what's the minimal things that he needs in a homeowner's policy?
Sure. Well, most people don't understand, and they're guided by when they walk into their mortgage broker. The mortgage broker says you need a homeowner's policy. They say okay. They contact a broker like myself. You're interested in a few things in a homeowner's policy. Number one, you want to protect the building, the structure. That's your biggest asset right now, is the $500,000 or whatever you're investing into a house. So if it burns down to the ground, you want to be protected. Then you want to be protected for everything in the house, or your contents, everything. If you turned it over and spilt it out, everything that fell out.
Well, when you buy for the structure, now, when you're buying coverage for what? Are you buying coverage to rebuild it or to buy a similar house? How does that work?
The contract works, you're buying to replace like, kind, and quality.
Okay, so if I bought a house in 1950 and put a lot of money into it, and now it's worth $1 million,
It depends upon your policy. In that case, what I do is I advise clients every year, please tell me if you made enhancements or done anything structurally, because then we change the policy. But whatever the policy limits are, you get paid like, kind, and quality to rebuild it.
Okay.
If it burns to the ground, most of the time they're partial losses, and then they'll just base it on what coverage you have.
Now, in some states, the cost to rebuild is less than in other states. And does the policy have any, is there anything to do with that?
You buy originally for that. So if you lived in Nassau County, it's going to be more, maybe more than Suffolk County. It's a different price in the 5 boroughs. So yes, it does based on where you live.
Okay.
Correct.
And when you talk about contents of a house, many of our veterans are moving from an apartment into a house for the first time. What do you recommend for a minimal amount of coverage for that?
Well, the policy automatically, depending upon what kind of coverage you buy, will automatically at least give you 50% of the dwelling amount as contents. If you have the replacement cost on contents endorsement, you get up to 70 or 75%, depending upon the insurance company.
Okay, so let's say, God forbid, one of our veterans purchases a house, moves in, and there's a fire, and his couch is destroyed. And when he bought that couch a few years back, let's make the assumption he even has the receipt. Generally, he won't.
Nobody has receipts.
Right. So let's say it's a $1,000 couch.
They burn in the fire.
Right. So they buy a couch for $1,000, and now it's 3 years later. Are you gonna? Is Allstate gonna pay them $1,000 for that
If they
couch?
have the replacement cost on their policy, they will either Allstate will replace the exact couch or give them the money to buy a new couch.
Will Allstate buy them a couch of the like?
Years ago, they used to do that, but probably at this point, no. Just give a check.
So let's backtrack. Let's
Yeah.
take a few steps
A lot
back.
of information.
Yeah, there's a lot of information and whatnot. So first and foremost, let's talk about insurance in general. You know, I know me being insurance licensed as well, and used to work for you. You know, there has to be reviews of policies. You know, so first and foremost, if anyone out there right now does have a car policy, does have a homeowner insurance, renter's insurance, any businesses that are out there that have business insurance, whatever the case may be, and you just want to review. A quick review, no obligations, no commitments, no anything. Definitely give Andrew Lerner a call. Phone number 516-621-7400. Once again, that's 516-621-7400. That's Andrew Lerner and the Lerner Agency. Now, there's a lot to do with car insurance. Car insurance can be, of course, very complicated. But given the fact that we are sell to a veteran and we do help the veterans with the housing and whatnot, you know, I want to touch upon renter's insurance very briefly, and then we just have to jump to commercial, and then I want to dive more into the home insurance aspect of it. But any veterans that are out there that come to us don't necessarily own a home yet. They rent.
Right.
You know, and I think renter's insurance is very important, you know. So why don't we touch upon that a little bit? Why is renter's insurance important, and what is renter's insurance?
Okay. Renter's insurance protects, you're basically buying for your contents. And the basic 3 coverages are fire, theft, and water. So it's a very undersold product, renter's insurance.
Very undersold, yeah.
Yes, it's really
That's why
under.
you veterans
and
out
it's-
there listening, you need to get renter's
It's
insurance.
very, very inexpensive. You buy for your contents, your clothes, your furniture, computer equipment, televisions, and you buy an amount on contents. And it could be a few dollars a month. It's really not an expensive product.
Is there an average is there an average amount that, let's say a 2-bedroom apartment, is there any average that you could say, well, you need $10,000 worth of coverage? Or do you have to really go through your house and say, well, I've got 60-inch flat screen TV, I have a couch. What's the easiest way to do
What
it?
I tell people is, because everyone says to me, I want the minimum, and there's really no minimum. We do a calculation as Allstate on our computer, so we put in 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, and yes, there'll be a number that shoots out. Whether or not you want to insure it for that, it's always higher than what you think, because you're going to save for $40,000. I don't know, $40,000. And I say, you know what? You'd be surprised. I say, you'd be surprised. If your house would have totally burned everything, you would love a $40,000 check to replace, your contents. People don't know, and people have no idea. That's what my job is, to hold your hand and to tell you, to advise you. And I always say after the policy is made, go home, sit and look around. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what you have.
So when that renter, when that veteran makes a claim, is it very difficult to get paid on it?
No.
What kind of proof do they need?
That's a good question. That's a very good question, because receipts burn. What'll happen is the adjuster will go in if there's a fire and see a burnt couch. They'll see a television set, and it usually has a name on it, whether it's a Sony or Mitsubishi. And the adjusters know that a 65-inch Mitsubishi is worth X amount of dollars at PC Richards, and they'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
That's why you need coverage out there. You know, insurance is something that you definitely need. May it be car insurance, home insurance, life insurance, health insurance, whatever the case may be, you're going to need it. When we get back, we're going to dive more into the home insurance aspect of it from the Sell to a Veteran viewpoint. So we'll be right back with Andrew Lerner. If you want to contact him, that is 516-621-7400. We'll be back.
Goldman and Mora, proud sponsors of Vets Radio. With over 50 years of combined legal experience, Goldman and Mora offers a wide array of legal services to its clients. Brian Goldman practices in the areas of personal injury, real estate, and special education. Brian Goldman especially prides himself in working closely with veterans and guiding them step by step through the purchase of their new home. Ellen Mora practices exclusively in the field of matrimonial and family law. Goldman and Mora, proud sponsors of Vets Radio. Goldman and Mora for all of your legal needs. The law office of James E. Way, located in Great Neck, New York. Attorney James Way has been providing over 18 years of service to the real estate community with dedications to the needs of first-time home buyers and is well-versed in all facets of veterans' home funding. James will take all of the veterans and their military families from contact to contract to closing. Give James Way a call for all of your real estate needs at 516-487-0100. That's 516-487-0100. The Center for Integrative and Innovative Therapies, CIIT Center, is a comprehensive treatment center with numerous services that cater to individual needs of those touched by chronic neurological conditions such as autism spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, concussion, or chronic conditions like migraine, post-traumatic stress disorder, autoimmune diseases, and so much more. The CIIT Center's mission is to approach each patient as a total entity by enhancing the biomedical, neurological, nutritional, electrical, and immune system of each of their patients to improve their overall quality of life. You're in good hands with Allstate, especially when you're dealing with the Andrew Lerner Agency, located at 71 Glen Cove Road in Greenville, New York. Give them a call. It's 516-621-7400. 516-621-7400. That's 516-621-7400. You never know what you're going to need when it comes to insurance, but Andrew Lerner knows. Give him a call, 621-7400, area code 516-621-7400. You're in good hands with Allstate. Sell to a Veteran, nonprofit 501c3 organization based on Long Island that provides U.S. military and veterans families with a much-needed service to enable them to understand and utilize their VA benefits, primarily their VA loan in buying, selling, and refinancing a home. If you're a veteran or an active military serviceman or woman, call Sell to a Veteran today at 888-234-7171. That's 888-234-7171. Headquartered in Great Neck, New York, Magnificent Homes, LLC, serving the entire metropolitan area. Magnificent Homes and its staff works daily to educate prospective home buyers and sellers who have served and guide them through the real estate process. If you're looking to sell or purchase a new home, co-op, or condo, contact Magnificent Home at 888-234-7171. That's 888-234-7171. And now back to Brian Goldman. I don't want to see it. And now back to Michael Aharoni and Brian Goldman and Veterans, and Eric Martin Koppelman with Veterans Entertainment Talk Show. There you go, guys.
Thanks a lot,
It's
Eric.
like it's going alphabet. A comes before G.
Okay.
See?
Right here, I have it written here. It says, "Dear Eric, please say my name first."
That's great. So we're back with Andrew Lerner, Allstate Agency, the Lerner Agency, talking about insurance. We spoke a little briefly about car insurance, and that's something definitely that we can spend hours on, but for the time's sake in our show, let's dive into the home insurance aspect of it, because with a lot of veterans and active military, and there goes the mic, a lot of veterans and active military families come to us, and they inquire about purchasing a home, okay? Most of them don't know anything, okay? They go through the lender, they get a mortgage, they get a pre-approval, we find them a house, and then the lender says to them, well, you need home insurance, okay?
That's when you call me.
And that's when you call you.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of companies out there that veterans already know, which we won't name on air. But basically, getting home insurance is not as complicated as one may seem.
Correct.
Okay. When someone calls you up and says, "Hey, Andrew, I'm buying a house. I need home insurance," what is the first thing that you'll ask them?
First, I'll say congratulations on the purchase of your new home. And then I'll go through a little fact finding on the house. I will go through a square footage, we'll go through a room count just to get a kind of value that we can insure the house for.
Do you insure the house based on market value, or do you insure the house based on what the mortgage is for?
Well, you insure the house based on replacing the structure. And I would say probably 90% of the time, it's either higher or lower than what you paid for it. You could buy a house in a very expensive neighborhood, but the land is worth 3 times what the house is worth. You're buying the land. So the actual replacement cost of the house usually is less than what you purchased the house for.
What do the banks require? Do they require the amount of insurance to match the mortgage, or match the appraisal value, or match the cost of the house or the sale?
First thing will be the mortgage amount, because they want to protect their interest. Then it could be higher or lower depending upon what I come up with, the replacement value on the house. Usually the banks and mortgage companies will want to see a replacement cost endorsement, which we all have.
You got that?
I got that. I'm watching our viewership go up.
Oh.
So I got a little distracted because
Okay.
I like viewers.
So
I do. Look, it's going up.
That's
People are
great.
tuning in.
So let's go back to that. So let's assume, I would say dealing with veterans specifically, what we've been telling veterans out there for the past 9 weeks is that a veteran is going to get 100% financing. So that is going to be the sale price.
Correct.
So in that scenario, you're going to insure the house for the amount, the
Correct.
purchase price.
That is
right?
correct. Yep.
But let's just talk about with a non-veteran loan, where in many cases you're financing 90%. Do you then bump up the insurance by 10% to cover what the value is, plus the mortgage, plus the down payment?
All depends on when I go through the replacement cost estimator to figure out a replacement cost of the structure. It really all depends. Each situation is different.
Now, Len, let's say, and you may not have the answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyway, because a lot of veterans and active military families that come to us looking for homes, we tend to guide them in the direction of where they need. We refer them a lawyer, we refer them a lender, we refer them an inspector, we refer them insurance, okay? And they may say to me, well, how is one company, or how can one company, or is one company cheaper than another company, or which company is better than another company? Home insurance is home insurance, no?
Correct. I mean, home
So-
insurance is home insurance. Home insurance is a piece of paper, basically showing coverages on a piece of paper.
So what makes one company, outside of price, what makes one company better than another?
Me, in terms of, you need someone that's going to guide you, because buying the home insurance initially is not a difficult task. It comes after, where you need the guidance, because you grow as a person. You buy more things, you get older, then you have kids, and you have more things, and you need a guidance from a good agent. I mean, that's my issue for many, many years. I don't sell price. Yes, I know everyone wants price. I don't like selling price. I like selling coverage. I've seen so many times, oh, I would have bought that. You didn't tell me in the beginning. It would have been only $25.
So
I
you
sell
suggest-
coverage.
You made a very valid point. A lot of agencies out there that we don't work with sell price. Oh, we can beat that price. Oh, we can beat that price. It's the coverage that people need to worry about.
And the insurance company.
It's the
And the
coverage
insurance
and the
company.
insurance
And the insurance
company.
company. You want an A-rated company or better, because I've seen so many companies go out of business in my 30
Let's say
years.
outside of the company, assuming the company is A-rated, they have to focus on the coverage. It's the coverage that matters, because you never know what's going to happen.
Correct.
Okay. The average home on Long Island, if we're doing a home insurance policy, you would say was what, roughly $1,800
For the coverage.
For the
for
yeah,
the home insurance.
yeah, maybe yeah.
So
I
this
would
money,
say
the
$1,500.
$1,800, the lender requires the buyer to purchase this insurance prior to closing. And
Correct.
we were discussing about
Right.
this off break.
Right.
You know.
There's a real problem. And if there are any lenders out there listening, and I hope you are, lenders tell my clients, the purchasers, go out and get a policy. And this policy has to be paid in full, and it's got to be ready when you close. Unfortunately, they're buying this policy a week, 2 weeks before the closing. I had a closing yesterday where the buyers, I was representing the seller, the buyer bought the policy a month before because his bank told him to. Now, the first problem is this, and I don't want to get too technical, but you can't take out insurance on something you don't own. I can't insure Andrew's car because when Andrew's car gets stolen, they're going to pay Andrew, even though I paid for a policy.
Correct.
Am I right?
That's correct.
So it's the same thing with a house, because it's called an insurable interest,
Insurable
right?
interest,
Right.
yep.
So if your lender tells you, ladies and gentlemen, to go out there and buy a policy of insurance before the closing, that's a problem. It has to be in effect on the day of the closing, right? So how do you handle that scenario?
It is a problem. We handle it in a couple of ways. Look, my companies, I can bind the policy, but then if they change the closing date 5 different times, it's a pain in the rear end to go back in and change it. We can issue binders that will get the mortgage company your mortgage because they need it just for the loan. They don't care if you're really covered or not. They just want to pass it to get their loan. So there are ways around. There are ways to do it.
Listen, at the end of the day, insurance is insurance. But as we can see, there's a lot that goes into it even before purchasing a home. And that's why you need someone like the Sell to a Veteran program, like Andrew Lerner from Allstate, 516-621-7400, to be there for you and to assist you in any way. Just wanted to give a shout out to David Klein, who's watching, Sean Griffin, who's watching, Juan Mendez, who's watching. Thanks so much for your support. Anyone out there that is watching or have any questions, you can contact us on veteransentertainmenttalkshow.com, on Facebook Live, or call us into the studio. So once the veteran or active military gets that home insurance policy, they close in the house, they have the home insurance policy. Most people tend to say, okay, I have it, let's file it, and they never forget, and they forget about it.
Correct.
Do you suggest, and this brings me back to my point earlier, do you suggest that every year, every 6 months, you tell us when you should really check your policy to make sure, A, you have enough coverage, B, you may have done something to the house, C, whatever the case may be. What do you think?
It's not worth it every 6 months. Once a year or any time you alter your house, change your house, redo a bathroom, redo a basement, redo a kitchen, add carpet, add flooring, anything time you alter or change, then I would call your agent or myself and we review it as that. We might not even have to increase it.
Perfect. So let's talk about moving forward. And you check your policy, every year it happens, and God forbid you have a claim. Okay? Let's say, I don't know, a house has a fire, right? Do you call the insurance company? Do you call you? Should you panic? Oh my God, what do I? People don't know what to do.
Right. And you will panic, and you can call me 24/7. Every single one of my clients has my cell. It's on my business card. And I've gotten calls in the middle of the night. I've gotten texts in the middle of the night for the last 30 years.
That's another difference between you and, let's say, another company out there that a veteran may know of just by name, is the fact that not only are you local, but you're accessible via cell phone.
Absolutely.
And that's huge. So anytime that you may have a claim, that is something that you can call.
Absolutely.
Well, let's face it. But let me just make the point also. There are other companies out there, but when you're buying insurance, while you're buying coverage, you're buying service, and that's what you offer.
Absolutely.
Without question.
Absolutely. I'm not an online company.
So once again, we're here with Andrew Lerner from the Allstate Agency and the Lerner Agency. He can be contacted at 516-621-7400. We're going to jump to commercial in about a minute or so, and we're going to come back and talk about real estate. I know you're going to drill me with questions. Before we go, we would love you to stay, if you would like.
I will stay, and I appreciate you inviting me.
Please, do you have anything else that we have not covered that you may want to say to the public?
Just that I'm not a price guy, and I'm a very honest guy. If you come to me with a policy, I'll review the whole policy for you, and if I feel you should keep it, I'll tell you to keep it. If not, I'll take it over.
Perfect. And before I get kicked out of the house, I have to say hello to my wife as well. She just texted me.
What about me?
Said, what about me? Yeah. I was leaving for her last. She's the most important.
Absolutely. I have to shout out to my wife too, and my mother if she's listening, because I know she's listening.
I want you to know, Nicole, that I would have said it first.
And if my wife is out there, my law partner, and she's watching, that means she's not working. So get back to your desk.
Is that Mrs. Moorer?
That's Mrs. Moore. That's correct.
There you go.
All right, so we're going to jump to commercial. We're going to do some musical chairs here, and we'll be back.
Well, let me tell you about Goldman and Mora. Goldman and Mora, they're proud sponsors of Vets Radio. With over 50 years of combined legal experience, Goldman and Mora offers a wide array of legal services to its clients. Brian Goldman practices in the areas of personal injury, real estate, and special education. Brian Goldman especially prides himself in working closely with veterans and guiding them step by step through the purchase of their new home. Ellen Mora practices exclusively in the field of matrimonial and family law. Goldman and Mora, they're proud sponsors of Vets Radio. Goldman and Mora for all of your legal needs. Attorney James Way has been providing legal services to the real estate community for over 18 years with dedication to the needs of first-time home buyers, and he's well-versed. Wow, it's been one of those days. Well-versed in all facets of veterans' home funding. James will take all of the veterans and their military families from contact to contract to closing. Give James Way a call at 516-487-0100. That's 516-487-0100 for all of your real estate needs. The Center for Integrative and Innovative Therapy, CIIT Center, is a comprehensive treatment center with numerous services that cater to the individual needs of those touched by chronic neurological conditions such as autism spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, concussion, or chronic conditions like migraine, post-traumatic stress disorder, autoimmune diseases, and so much more. The CIIT Center's mission is to approach each patient as a total entity by enhancing biomedical, neurological, nutritional, electrical, and immune system of each one of their patients to improve their overall quality of life. Let me tell you about the Andrew Lerner Agency, because you are in good hands with Allstate, located at 71 Glen Cove Road in Greenvale, New York. Give them a call at 516-621-7400. As you heard on the show today, Andrew Lerner said it's not so much about price, it's making sure that you have the proper coverage, and the way to do that is to be dealing with an insurance broker that knows what they are doing, and Andrew Lerner certainly knows what he is doing. Like I said, you can't get any better than this, folks. You're in good hands with Allstate. 516-621-7400. That's 516-621-7400. I just gave Mr. Lerner the thumbs up. All right. I broke character here. Sorry, guys. Had to do that for a second. All right. All right. Sell to a Veteran is a nonprofit. Now I'm out of content. Now I can't do this. I ruined my flow here, guys. Sell to a Veteran is a nonprofit 501c3 organization based on Long Island that provides U.S. military and veterans families with much-needed services to enable them to understand and utilize their VA benefits, primarily their VA loan, in buying, selling, and or refinancing a home. If you're a veteran or an active military serviceman or woman, call Sell to a Veteran today at 888-234-7171. That's 888-234-7171. Magnificent Homes, LLC, headquartered in Great Neck, New York, but serving the entire metropolitan area. Magnificent Homes and its staff works daily to educate prospective home buyers and sellers who have served and guide them through the real estate process. If you're looking to sell or purchase a new home, co-op, or condo, contact Magnificent Homes, LLC at 888-234-7171. 888-234-7171. And now back to Michael Aharoni and Brian Goldman and myself, of course, Eric Martin Koppelman, Veterans Entertainment Talk Show.
Thank you very much, Mr. Koppelman. Doing a fine job as always.
I try. I stutter sometimes, but I try.
Weird being in this seat.
Yes, well, we have a very interesting second half of the show today.
Wow.
We have
New dynamic.
My partner is going to be on the hot seat. As we've told you from the get-go, Sell to a Veteran is a multifaceted company. One of the things we do is we go out there and find veterans. All of those who are listening today, we go out there and tell you, give you workshops and seminars on what you need to purchase a house. Well, the first thing you need is to get a loan. So what we have done is put you in touch with our bank, and a bank that we use, a community lender. And after you have been pre-approved for your loan, the next thing is, well, where do you want to live? That's where my partner, Michael Aharoni, comes in. He's been a licensed real estate broker for many years, is well-versed in Nassau, Suffolk County, getting more well-versed with the 5 boroughs. Good afternoon, Mr. Aharoni.
Good afternoon, Mr. Goldman.
So tell us, what is the first thing that you do when you meet a veteran?
Well, before I begin, I have to give a little shout out to myself. Last night I received an email.
Oh, yes, please tell us all.
And the Long Island Business News here in Long Island hosts a very prestigious award ceremony called the Long Island Business News Real Estate Awards. And there are people that have to nominate other people. And my fellow colleagues have nominated me, and I was actually chosen to win the award of Rookie of the Year.
I saw that.
So, thank you. So that's a huge accomplishment.
It really
And
is.
I want to thank everyone but you. No, I want to thank everyone, including you, and anyone that's out there that submitted for me. I appreciate that.
Well, let me put it
That was awesome.
live
It's
radio.
part of radio magic.
There you go.
That was awesome.
Well, let me tell you about that. I did vote for you for that award, not because you're my partner, not because you're my friend, but because of how good a real estate agent and broker you are.
Thank you.
The thing we talked about with our colleague over here, Andrew, is the personal touch. And I know that's something you pride yourself in. I've seen you in action. I've seen you work with veterans, and it's something you obviously care very deeply about. So much congratulations.
Appreciate
for
that.
award.
Thank you.
So let's go back to my question before
Please.
you patted yourself on the back.
Please.
So Sell to a Veteran has now gotten a veteran pre-approved for a loan. And the veteran says to us, Brian, I'd like to live in Copeg. And I turned to them, I said, well, we work with Magnificent Homes. Would you like someone there to help you out, help you find a home? And more often than not, they'll say yes. And then you meet with them. Tell me the process.
Sure. So once we get that veteran into contact, once we make contact with that veteran, we basically first, of course, thank them for their service and figure out exactly where they're coming from and where they're going to. And the most important thing is, and I tell all the veterans, is this should not be a stressful situation. Especially in today's market where it is a seller's market and a lot of homes are being battled on.
Not a very big inventory.
There's not. First and foremost, I want to make sure that they have fun. This is a team effort, okay? I work for them. So basically, I become their advocate. We sit down or go over the phone, depending on where they are, and we basically go through the necessary moves. Basically, what are you looking for, the type of house you're looking for, how many bedrooms you're looking for, how many bathrooms you're looking for. I basically say to them, what are the deal breakers? Is having a basement a deal breaker? Is having a garage a deal breaker? And I basically get their whole buying profile. But very certain, I say to them, not only do I look, but you should look also. And the reason being is because 4 eyes are better than 2. And you know more of what you're looking for than I do. So help me help you.
So where do you look?
I look primarily on the MLS system that we have. There is, of course, your Zillows and your Trulias and your Realtors and for sale by owners and all of that. But because we are a broker and because we do have access to the MLS system, we do get 95% of everything that's already out there. And we get all the information for that. The unfortunate thing is if anyone out there is looking without an agent and they're going to the Zillows and the Trulias and the Realtors and the this and the that, 99% of the information that's on that site is either A, inaccurate, or B, not complete. And that's why you need someone that's a realtor to help you. Because as you may know, and I may be jumping the gun here, short sales and foreclosures are not really accessible to the veteran through a VA loan. And these websites will not tell you that more than likely.
Well, let's touch upon that right now before we go back. What kinds of purchases can a veteran or active military serviceman or woman purchase utilizing their VA loan?
So unfortunately and fortunately, the VA loan has very strict parameters because they want to make sure that the veteran gets into a home that is moving condition and not have to come out of pocket. So it has to be a moving condition house. We're not talking spotless. We're not talking brand new. It has to be moving condition. The roof has to be not leaking. There can't be any peeling paints. It has to be in living condition.
So when you bring that veteran to a house, well, let me go back. Do you pre-screen the houses?
Oh, of course, you have to. You need a realtor or a program like Sell to a Veteran that knows how to pre-screen the house to not waste your time, because not every house will be VA approved. No short sales, nor foreclosures, no fixer-uppers, no handymans, no sold as is. So you need someone like myself or like you or the program that we're in that is knowledgeable to go out there to look at a house and say, okay, this is what needs to be done.
Are all houses accessible? I mean, can it be a two-family, three-family?
Sure. So the majority of homes are accessible. Depends on where you live, rural, urban, depending on that. But it's usually one or family homes.
And what about condominiums and cooperatives?
So only certain condos are approved. You can go onto the VA website and check out the condos that are VA approved. Not every condo is VA approved.
And why would one condo be VA approved while another wouldn't? What's the qualifications?
There's really no true or right answer. Basically, it has to do with, does that homeowner association have enough backing to prove to the VA that, yes, I can withhold this condominium and it's not going to fall, basically.
So it's a financial
It's
issue.
a financial issue.
Okay.
Exactly.
So-
and there's no co-ops.
Okay, so now Sergeant Jones comes to you,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been pre-approved for, let's say $400,000, and he wants to live on Long Island. You have now done an MLS search, and you come up with half a dozen houses. What's the next step?
Sure. So the next step is to send these houses to Mr. Jones and to say to them, okay, go through all the houses, look at the pictures, let me know which ones you like. I like this, I like this, I like that. I make a call, hey, is it still available? Yes, great. When can you see it, Mr. Jones? Let's go out and let's go see it. We go see the house. Okay? They see it to make sure they like it. I see it to make sure it'll actually get approved.
Okay, and again, what kinds of things are you looking for when you go to look at that house with them?
Sure. So anyone that's looking at a house with a VA loan, you should look for a few of the following issues, main issues. Of course, there's a lot of minor stuff, but make sure that the roof is intact. There's no holes in the roof. There's no leaking. The roof is not up or down. It's literally a roof, a nice set
Will
roof.
you have an inspector go with you? Or?
So the inspector comes after the fact. So if we like the house and he wants to put a bid, he or she wants to put a bid on the house or an offer on the house, and we gets accepted, then we bring an inspector in to really know the house and pick apart the house. I just see it by sight, where the inspector will see it by hand.
Now, this is something that we've spoken about several times on our talk show, and that is if you're one of the few people in the state that have been trained on the ability to look at a house, to figure out what kinds of repairs need, and then have to figure out who's going to pay for those. Why don't you tell our listeners about how that works? That's
Sure.
It's an important and a very problematic situation.
Sure. So let's talk. Let me just brief upon the first question as to continuing what I look for. So in addition to the roof, you have to look at the foundation of the house. There can't be any major cracks. Settlement cracks are fine, but I'm talking about major cracks that water and bugs and stuff can physically get into. You have to check out the brick or the siding. There can't be any cracks. There can't be any peeling paint. There can't be any peeling paint. There can't be lead paint. The floors inside have to be intact. All appliances have to work. All electric has to work. There can't be any holes in the walls. All walls have to be finished. The boiler has to work. The air conditioning has to work. Et
So
cetera,
basically,
et
the whole
cetera.
house to be intact.
The whole house has to be intact. So let's say for some reason there's a minor issue that we see and it has to be negotiated because the VA is going to come back and say this needs to be done. So there's two ways to do this.
You know what? I'm going to ask you to hold your thought right there. Hold your answer, because we're going to break to a commercial right now. All right, Eric, take us away.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I'm impressed too, absolutely. All right, let me tell you about Goldman & Maurer, proud sponsors of Vets Radio. With over 50 years of combined legal experience, Goldman & Maurer offers a wide array of legal services to its clients. Brian Goldman practices in the area of personal injury, real estate, and special education. Brian Goldman especially prides himself in working closely with veterans and guiding them step by step through the purchase of their home. Ellen Maurer practices exclusively in the field of matrimonial and family law. Goldman & Maurer, proud sponsors of Vets Radio. Goldman & Maurer for all of your legal needs. Attorney James Way has been providing legal services to the real estate community for over 18 years with dedication to the needs of first-time homebuyers, and he's well-versed in all facets of veterans home funding. James will take all of our veterans families and military families from contact to contract to closing. Give James Way a call at 516-487-0100. That's 516-487-0100. Give them a call for all of your real estate needs. The Center for Integrative and Innovative Therapy, CIIT Center, is a comprehensive treatment center with numerous services that cater to the individual needs of those touched by chronic neurological conditions such as autism spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, concussion, or chronic conditions like migraine, post-traumatic stress disorder, autoimmune diseases, and so much more. The CIIT Center's mission is to approach each patient as a total entity by enhancing the biomedical, neurological, nutritional, electrical, and immune system of each of their patients to improve their overall quality of life. You're in good hands with Allstate, especially if you're dealing with the Andrew Lerner Agency, located at 71 Glen Cove Road in Greenvale, New York. That's the Andrew Lerner Agency, 71 Glen Cove Road in Greenvale, New York. Give them a call, 516-621-7400. That's 516-621-7400. Do you know how much insurance you really need? Well, Andrew Lerner does. Give him a call, 516-621-7400. You're in good hands with Allstate. Sell to a Veteran is a nonprofit 501c3 organization based on Long Island that provides U.S. military and veterans families with much-needed services to enable them to understand and utilize their VA benefits, primarily their VA loan, in buying, selling, and or refinancing a home. If you're a veteran or an active military serviceman or woman, call Sell to a Veteran today at 888-234-7171, 888-234-7171. Magnificent Homes, LLC, headquartered in Great Neck, New York, but serves the entire metropolitan area. Magnificent Homes and its staff works daily to educate prospective home buyers and sellers who have served and guide them through the real estate process. If you're looking to sell or purchase a new home, co-op, or condo, contact Magnificent Homes LLC at 888-234-7171. That's 888-234-7171. And now back to Michael Aharoni and Brian Goldman with their special guest, Andrew Lerner, on Veterans Entertainment Talk Show.
Thank you again. Sorry for that quick referral to go to a commercial.
You know, I'm
new at this.
I'm a professional. I can handle it. You know? I'm in good hands.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Allstate, yeah.
All right, so we left off, Michael. By the way, you're doing a great job. Just want to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So we left off with the issue of repairs.
Yes.
And as an attorney representing veterans, I know firsthand that can create huge problems. So why don't you tell our listening veterans and active military personnel what that entails, what happens?
Sure. So let's say we go see a house and the house they like and the inspection happens and there are a few repairs that need to be done. Okay. There are two ways to go about doing this. There's your typical realtor or typical lawyer that will basically say, okay, well, this repair needs to be done, and this repair needs to be done, and this repair, and that has to do, and da-da-da-da. And it makes it way too overwhelming, not only for the veteran, but also for the seller. So before we even offer a price, I calculated in my mind, okay, well, this needs to be done, and maybe this needs to be done, some form of a number. And I basically say, okay, well, you're asking for your house $500,000. I'm going to offer you $500,000, but this is what needs to be done. I'll give you your full asking price, or close to your asking price, to make it a good offer, but I need this, and this done. And 99% of the time, they'll do it. Because A, they already know that it's the VA loan. B, I basically say to them, listen, let's do this now and not wait for the VA appraiser to come and tell us 3 weeks later that stuff needs to be done. Let's nip it in the butt now. Let's get into contract now, already knowing what's going to come in 3 weeks. And not only does that help that veteran, it also helps you being the lawyer.
Do you find that sellers are more apt to sell to a veteran or less apt to sell to a veteran? Let me give you a scenario. 3 offers, same offer, one of them's a veteran, the two aren't.
Unfortunately, veterans have the VA loan, I should say, has a very hard time getting accepted in today's market.
Why is that?
Various reasons. One, there's no money down. Two, it's the VA loan and the VA repairs and the VA appraisal. And three, people think that a VA loan takes longer to close.
Okay, let's start the third one first. Doesn't take any longer, does it?
You know better than I do. You're
Right.
the lawyer.
Same thing, same time. And the rates?
Yep.
Comparable.
Rates are actually less.
Okay.
A VA loan rate is less than a conventional FHA.
So, speaking as an attorney who has worked with you on real estate deals, I think the one thing that you mentioned that we have a problem with is the understanding of the notion that a loan, that a VA home is 100% financed.
Correct.
Right? And how do you, when you're dealing with the seller in person,
Right.
do you talk to them about that to kind of
You know,
soften the blow?
Yes, it is 100% finance, but what we do is we say to the veteran, we say, you need to come up with at least $5,000 good faith deposit to put towards your closing costs. You need to show some skin in the game. Is it 20%? No. But at least we have some money that I or any realtor can play with and really negotiate. You know, so that's why I go and I say, listen, you know, when I present an offer, and this is what differentiates myself with other realtors that are not that savvy in the VA world, in a sense, is the fact that you go in and you speak to the seller or the seller's agent and we say, listen, I understand the market that we're in. I understand that you may have other offers, but here's the deal, okay? My name is on the line. My reputation is on the line. All I do is help with veterans and active military families. Okay, I have currently a veteran that I would love to find a home for. Here's the offer. I give him the offer, give him the stipulation, I give him the $5,000. I say, listen, at the end of the day, I'm giving you what you're asking for, or close to it. Do this for our veteran. Sell your home to a veteran. Sell your home to somebody that has served our country. Give back to our country. If you go to this, and I'm going to veer off 2 seconds, if you go to our website, selltoaveteran.org, there is a tab that says Sell Your Home. Okay? If you go there, you can read about our program and what we're trying to do. We need sellers out there, nationwide, willing to sell to a veteran. And if you sell to a veteran, the quote-unquote commission that you'll make, part of that, will actually be donated back into the Sell to a Veteran charity to fund another veteran.
Now, let me stop you right there. And this ties in with our whole discussion about the repairs and how Sell to a Veteran helps the veteran with respect to the repairs. Can a veteran say to a seller, I'll take care of the repairs, I'll fix it, I'll pay for it, just sell me the house?
Technically,
Right.
yes, but the lender needs to see the seller purchased it.
So it's got to be, well, then technically...
There's ways around
Yeah,
it.
but the seller has to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
For today's purpose, yes.
Okay. And in those scenarios where you're unable to get the seller to budge and do the repairs or pay for the repairs, knowing that they have to be made to pass VA loan muster, what does Sell to a Veteran do with respect to that?
Sure. So if, big if, capital IF, underline, italicized,
Okay.
if for some reason we get to the point where there needs to be repairs done and the sellers are not willing to budge on those repairs, that is where Sell to a Veteran comes in. We raise money to cover that access funds that a veteran may need to get their home because the seller is not willing to do it.
Okay. So in any event, the repairs are made, and then what happens after there's an agreement, a meeting of the minds? What goes next?
Sure. So the meeting of the minds, then you get an amazing lawyer by the name of Brian Goldman. Oh, did I just plug you? To contact them. Okay. I brief them on what's going to happen, the good faith, and you need an attorney. Let's pretend you don't even exist. You need an attorney that knows how to deal with the VA loan. Period. You need an attorney that knows how to deal with the VA loan. Because, yes, it's similar, contracts are the same, but there is so much more that could potentially happen that you need a lawyer that's versed in that, okay? So the lawyer gets involved, the lawyer gets the contract, they go back and forth, you sign the contract, and now you wait. Now it's the waiting game. So the lender will hire a VA appraiser, an outside third party. The VA appraiser will come in. This is after the inspection is done. The VA will send their own appraiser, their own inspector to come in and basically look to make sure the house is standing the way it is. Make sure the foundation is good, the roof is good, the appliances are good, the utilities are good, and make sure that it is a moving condition house.
And what's your role? What's your function while this is happening?
I sit back and look pretty.
So you have no role. All right.
No, and in all honesty, my role is to make sure everything is moving smoothly. That's my role.
I got a quick question. Are these loans standard 30-year fixed?
Yeah, the standard 30-year fixed loans. It could be 15-year loan depending on your circumstance. But yeah, they're your standard loan. The only major difference of a VA is 0% down, no mortgage insurance, and depending on the lender, like our lender, no origination fees, no underwriting fees, very small closing costs. And if you're a combat veteran, you don't even get the VA funding fee. If you are not a combat veteran and you do have to pay that VA funding fee, that VA funding fee is included in your mortgage. It does not come out of your pocket. It's included within your mortgage payment. And that VA funding fee is 2.15% for any first-time home buyers.
2.15% of the mortgage amount.
Of the mortgage amount.
So it could be considerable.
Oh, yeah.
But spread out over 30 years.
Spread out
Right.
over 30 years.
Okay, so what experiences have you had with attorneys trying to understand the concept of the veterans home loan and when you're dealing with your veterans and you found them the house?
Sure. So I'll answer that and wrap it up because I know we only have like 3 minutes left.
Why not?
And I want to bring Andrew back in. But like I said, it's a VA loan is a VA loan. From the seller's perspective, from the seller's standpoint, sell to a veteran. It's the same loan. It's the same concept. Yes, there may need to be a little repairs here and there, but you'll get paid back on it based on the offer of the house. Okay? An inspector is an inspector. You need a lawyer that knows how to deal with the VA loan. Stuff may happen, whatever the case may be. You need somebody that knows the lingo and knows how to negotiate on your behalf. Realtor and attorney for that matter. And when you're going to look for a house, veterans and active military families out there, you need an advocate. Okay, a lot of people say, yeah, there's your Zillows and your Trulias and all that stuff, and I can go on my own and look on my own. You can't. You can't. Not in this market. You need somebody that will fight for you. You deserve to be a homeowner. You deserve to achieve the American dream. You deserve to not get taken advantage of. So you need a program like the Sell to a Veteran program. You need participants and companies like our lender, like our moving company, like Andrew Lerner, who's there to help you in every step of the way, so you're not looking up at the sky wondering, where am I going next? Okay? You need advocates by your side. You need a program like the Sell to a Veteran program that will help you in every step of the way.
And you also work with veteran agents, don't you?
Oh, yeah. We work with veteran agents 100% because it's veterans giving back to veterans.
Awesome.
And that is that.
Is there anything else you would like to add, Mr. Aharoni? You've been very informative.
Thank you so much. Nothing really. I just to go back into my host role here.
Please do.
I'm just going to say one thing, though. To sell to a veteran, these veterans are away for a long time. When they come back here, they don't know what's going on. Sell to a veteran helps hold a hand for the whole entire process, from the moving to the lawyers to the buying to the insurance to everything. I just think it's a hell of a program.
I appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
I want to thank all 137 plus viewers that are currently listening right now. I want to thank my wife. See, second time I thanked her. and everyone else that's watching, all the veterans and active military families out there. If you need any questions or any feedback on any insurance policies that you may have, may it be car, home, life, whatever the case may be, definitely contact Andrew Lerner and the Lerner Agency at 516-621-7400.
Call me anytime, and I just want to give one shout out too that I forgot before. I can't do this by myself. I have a wonderful staff in Mandy and Angelo, and they're my right-hand people.
He can go back to the office today.
Right, now he can,
I can go
now
back.
he can go back.
Not going back now, but
I love that sound effect. Next week is going to be the CIIT Center. Come back at veteransentertainmenttalkshow.com. I want to thank my co-host for jilling me. Thank again to Andrew Lerner. Thank you, Eric Koppelman, for the sound effects. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you to all the veterans and active military families out there. As I say every single week, we would not be here without you. We do this show for you.
Thank you so much for your service.
And if you want to contact us, www.selltoaveteran.org and veteransentertainmenttalkshow.com. What song are you leaving us with today?
And when it comes to, and you want to hear a sound effect? Here's the sound effect for all. If you're out there and you know of a veteran, this is all they can say is,
help, 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 help.
help a veteran. Okay, sell to a veteran.
That's terrible.
Sorry, I had to throw a little
that's
comic
so-
relief in there.
Well, you are a veteran yourself.
Yes, I am, so I can do that.
You
All
can
right.
do it,
Yeah.
yes.
So what? Well, I have to kick off a Facebook Live if we play a real song. So I was
so
just, I have to do.
Why don't you sing, Eric?
Why don't I sing?
Sing us off. Till next week, everybody. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Sing a song.
Oh, boy.
All right, no, we're not going to do that. All right, for Veterans Entertainment Talk Show, my name is Eric Martin Koppelman. Michael Aharoni, thank you so much. Brian Goldman, thank you so much. Andrew Lerner, thank you so much. And we'll see you next week live from CIIT Center.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr.